Good morning and welcome. Happy Saturday. No, it's Sunday. Used to doing my streams on Saturdays, but now it's back to Sundays. It's 10 a.m. It's Pacific local time here in Terrace, British Columbia. It is a gorgeous day. Blue skies. It's going to be warm and toasty. But this morning, we're going to go to Vietnam. And what are we going to do today? Today, we are going to start the A Week in Binh Long campaign. And I just need to find it. Operation Starlight. There it is right there. So let's do a quick review. A Week in Binh Long Province, commanding elements of the 1st Infantry Division as it performs search and destroy operations throughout the Binh Long Province area, hoping to stall the planned North Vietnamese plan to capture the cities of Loc Ninh and Loc, and that should be Con Than, sorry. Starting with a single brigade, the task force will grow throughout the week into 2 full brigades with supporting units. This scenario includes a wide variety of units and missions that need to be completed throughout the week, with each day providing a new mission for each battalion. Each day becoming more complicated with task management than the last, with the final crescendo at the end of the scenario. Notes: in lieu of linked campaigns for the 1.0 release, this scenario has you commanding a brigade-sized unit throughout 7 days of different missions, where success depends on completing them. So we're going to play with all options with no variable visibility, and this is just saying that the scenario is scripted with variable objectives. And this was created with 1.00, but keep in mind I am using the big caveat 1.30 beta update. This will be a fairly substantial update, hence it's going to be the 1.3 update, but I've been updating this particular scenario based on my campaign dealing with the A Week in Mekong. So improvements that I've made there, I've also made to A Week in Binh Long. So I'm going to start with the latest improvements that I've been made with this, which is actually I'm going to change that to 1.30. So let's play it. Let's get started and see what happens. Exciting times to be had by someone. Alright, obviously I'm playing with Fog of War. We have all the optional rules on, with the exception of variable visibility, and let's load it up. Thank you to those that are tuning in, muchly appreciated. It's good to see you. Okay, so as we went through before, these daily missions are very important, so let's take a look and see what's going on here. Day 1 in Binh Long. This is a mission-based week-long campaign which requires that you follow the assigned missions in order to successfully complete the scenario. The computer-controlled Side B forces are equipped to counter any of your missions as you are assigned to them. They are not aware of coming missions, however, so they don't know what's going on, but they're prepared to counter them. For this reason, there is a penalty for taking objectives that fall out of your designated area of operations. So if we're, much like Mekong, if we're tasked with operating in one area, we're expected to be operating that area. And if we go outside of that area and capture points in the outside area, we will lose points for every one that we take. So have to be mindful of that. You can identify the operating areas by turning on the map labels and zooming out. The boundaries of the area of operations are defined by a red color equals sign. That might actually be a plus sign. I have to double check. Additionally, the primary locations described above are in all green capital letters on the map. Good luck. I don't think I did a lot of that for this particular scenario. There might be some regional descriptions, but I don't think there's very many. Anyways, the situation. Welcome to Binh Long Province. You're in command of the 3rd 1st Infantry Brigade, with additional forces being provided by the 1st Infantry Division. These assets include helicopters, artillery, and armored cavalry. Over the next week, you will command your battalions on different daily missions to rid the Viet Cong from the Binh Long Province. Each day will bring new challenges, teaching you to balance your forces and be conscious of force conservation. As the commander, you will be expected to ensure that each daily mission assigned to the battalions are completed, as overall success of the week will depend on it. Friendly forces. You're in command of 3 infantry battalions. Good day, Bess. I am very well. Good to see you. And good day, Compass Rose. Also good to see you. Really glad that you two joined in today. Back to the infantry battalions, where the 1st 16th, 2nd, and 2nd 28th Infantry of the 3rd 1st Infantry Brigade. Additional units are under the 1st may be available as the week proceeds. Enemy forces. Intelligence reports that Vietcong forces have been operating around 3 main cities: Loc Ninh, An Loc, and Con Than. Yeah, you see I spelled it right there. So, 3rd Brigade mission. The brigade headquarters and logistics will remain at Lai Khe. The 3rd Brigade Task Force headquarters should be at Loc Ninh. Move the 3rd Brigade Task Force headquarters, that's a key, Task Force headquarters, and the other 2nd 28th Battalion units at An Loc to Loc Ninh. Someone is having allergy issues again. Hey, Bess. Oh. Actually, let me just double check. Let me move my microphones. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know. I got stuffed up this morning and I can't figure out why. It's one of those weird things. Alright, so in the north we have the 2nd 28th mission, which is organizing a task force consisting of 3 combat companies of the battalion and a battery, the B battery, from the 2nd 33rd Artillery will conduct a search and destroy operation within area Alabama and area Louisiana. A new firebase will be constructed during the day in the northwest part of area Louisiana in the landing zones at LZ Louisiana 5, which is that coordinates there, 4260. The task force will logger at the new firebase overnight, and the rest of the battalion will stay at Loc Ninh as security. So that's important. So basically we're saying that our task forces are going to be organizing with the 3 combat companies, which are the infantry companies, plus an artillery battery. So that's going to be our main core unit, and that is the unit that's going to have to be loggering overnight at the area Louisiana. Hello, Red Sox Cutie. Good to see you. I hope you're well. The D company is assigned as an engineering escort. So the weapons company of the 2nd 28th is assigned to some road clearing engineers. This task force will clear QL-13 between An Loc and Loc Ninh, securing... You know what? Let me show you guys something. So if you're going to play this scenario, which I highly recommend you do, but... where is it? In the manuals folder. Take a look at this. I've included a Binh Long planning map PDF. And if you open that up, you'll see the area that I'm talking about here. So this is the Binh Long area, province, basically. And within that area are the 3 main cities. Here's Loc Ninh. Here's Loc Ninh. Here's An Loc. Here's Con Than. And this is QL-13, this line here. This is the main supply route. So this is a 2-page PDF. The second page are all the units that are eventually going to be included for you to be playing with, as well as I added some Firebase icons. You can print this off and then cut these out if you want to, and if you're going to play it, it will help you kind of keep track of your stuff, because it's going to get convoluted later on as the days go by. So I included this for, your benefit, to help you out. So let's take a look. We have, so this here, 2nd 28th, is operating from Loc Ninh, and it has to clear that area and this area. The engineering task force needs to clear the highway, this highway, QL-13, from An Loc all the way up to Loc Ninh. Good day, John. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Now, the next mission is the 1st 16th Task Force. So this will move by road and a helicopter to An Loc. A task force consisting of combat companies of the battalion and C Battery of the 2nd 33rd Artillery will conduct a search and destroy operation in Area Alaska, as well as spending the night at An Loc. So we know, well, I know, that the battalion right now is currently located at Phuoc Vinh, and we need to send it by truck as well as by helicopter to An Loc, and then we have to clear Area Alaska. So it's probably not a very big area, but the big issue with this is that we have to move everyone there, and that'll take some time in itself. We also have to decide how we're going to do that. Which companies are going to be flown, which companies are taking the roads, and we have to make sure that the roads are clear, because hey, I'm not very nice. I probably didn't leave the roads very clear, so we'll have to double check that. So let's talk about the execution. So, execution. The organized task force will secure the objectives found in the area of operations stated above, which are Alabama and Louisiana, and then clearing the area of any Viet Cong, tracking down any supplies or bases. The unit will assist in building a fire base at the location noted and will logger there overnight. Okay, that's straightforward. The organized task force will advance along the main supply route, which is QL13, clear any obstacles found along the road, and return the task force to Loc Ninh base before dark. So that's where that's going to logger. And then the 1st 16th Task Force execution, using the available helicopter transports, move the battalion to An Loc and secure Area Alaska, capturing all the objectives and clearing the area of any Viet Cong, tracking down any supplies or bases. The support vehicles of the battalion will advance along QL13 to An Loc, setting up the operating base for the battalion, and the task force and the rest of the battalion will logger at An Loc. Political, you lose event points for indirect firing or ordering airstrikes on inhabited hexes, whether or not occupied by the enemy. You will lose points for not completing the assigned daily missions, and you will lose points for not spending the night where assigned. The supply levels are high at the beginning of the day, but expect them to taper off as the daily operations proceeds. There will be opportunities to resupply as the days go on. Wait for instructions. The weather is expected to be mostly sunny with cloudy periods. No rain is expected throughout the day. Whew, that was a big briefing. Alright, so before I do anything, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save the game. And we are going to... So, let's do this live, just so I know. So this here is the AAR that I have going at the forum, and this will be our live play. So let's take a look at the map. Let's take a look at the jump map, and let's quickly go over the two here. So here's a preview of the jump map. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Here's the jump map. Here's the area that we're looking at. It's the same area. Down here is Lai K. That's what this is down here. Con Than is here. An Loc is here. And Loc Ninh is here. If we go down to Lai K, we can see that here is a 3rd Brigade headquarters. And we'll see. I'll show you. Find organization. So we know it's part of the 1st Infantry Division. This is 3rd Brigade, and when I have 3rd Brigade highlighted, you can see that all these units are highlighted. So these units are part of that. What are these? Probably logistics. So that's logistics there. We don't have any transport. Those are coming. We're going to... That's probably the... Yeah, so this is the artillery headquarters. So we're going to leave that here for now. And these are reconnaissance helicopters for the artillery. So it's good that we have some spare helicopters there. We got some LRRPs, and we get some civil air units. Let's take a look. Alright. So here is the 1st 16th Battalion, and this is the battalion that we have to send from here all the way up to here. So as we can see, we have helicopters here. We have helicopters and we have trucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by moving our helicopters, or our infantry, up and aside. So this is a combat company. You can tell that's what these are. There's 3 infantry platoons plus the mortars. In the briefing where it says, where does it say it? Organizing a task force consisting of the 3 combat companies of the battalion plus a battery. So this is what a combat company looks like. It has 3 platoons plus it has mortars. That is what is classified as the company. You don't have to worry about the transport as long as you're worried about the heavy weapons and the infantry platoons. That's the main thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to not worry about... you know what? Since we have to move all these vehicles by road anyways, I am going to load up my mortars and I'm going to transport the infantry. Now, do I have enough points to get up there? Ooh, I do. Nope, not enough action points there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transport some helicopters. I'm going to transport the battery, and I'm going to get a column ready to start moving. Here we have the headquarters. You know what? I should probably... So there's a task force headquarters and there's a headquarters. The task force headquarters, I'm going to put in a helicopter, but the main headquarters, I am going to just load up. Let me turn off the show track IDs. We don't need to see that. That's for me. So I'm going to load up things. We have one more company, and we have some dozers. The dozers I'm going to load in those Chinooks when I can. So I have 2 Chinooks. Chinooks are designed for hauling your heavier stuff, including the dozers, as well as I have a 6 strength point here, which will be good for hauling the artillery, wherever the artillery is. Where is the battery? Where's my battery? Oh, there's more over here. Aha. So I need to haul this battery with that helicopter. So there's going to be some transporting of troops here. Just going to organize my units. Let's load up these guys. We're going to have one large convoy going through. You'll see I don't have enough vehicles for everything, so I have to hunt down vehicles to carry my stuff. These are supplies. We don't need those, but we can use them for... So, first decision. My first decision is, am I going to transport this vehicle or these guns just by truck all the way up there, or would it be wiser to send them up with the Chinooks? And I'm thinking it's going to be wiser to send them up with the Chinooks because they have to go up here, which is a long way away, and that battalion is tasked with securing this entire area. So I think it'd be wise to... Let's see what's here. We have an airfield here. We have a landing zone here. And we have an airfield here. Use the Chinooks for moving the yard. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And you know what? I think we're going to land one company here and one company up here and disperse from there. But I think we're going to bring our battery into this hex here, or into this airfield. Set it up, get it ready for supporting any issues that are going to be arising. I think there's an artillery yeah, there's an artillery battery up here to cover the north. Oh, and look at that, it's a 155. Ooh, that's kind of good. What else? Is there another one? Or is it just that one? Let's take a look. Let's zoom in. Oh, there's another battery. So there's a couple of Arvin batteries up here. So it makes sense for us to, at least at the start of the scenario, to utilize this second airfield down here and create a temporary fire base at that location. Again, the whole battalion has to logger at and lock during the night, but during the day I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to transport that gun here and build a small little fire base there to support the company that's going to be operating down here, because we have artillery up here that can support the one that's going to land here. So that's our plan. That's a good plan. That's a very good plan. So let's drop down back here, start reorganizing our stuff. Get these guys loaded into trucks. And we're going to put them on the road so we remember where they're going. And then we can drop them up here. By that time, these helicopters will be reduced, the infantry will be gone. Yeah. These things, they're not useful. They're going to be going by road. We have 2 trucks here. I need a 4 SP vehicle. I have the supply trucks. So I am utilizing my supply trucks, and I'm going to put my recoilless rifles in them because I can. And that, can I haul that? I don't think so. Oh, I can. Nice. Okay. So this, that is the headquarters for the helicopters. So you'll see we have some Chinooks, we have some Snakes, we have some Loaches, we have transport helicopters, some Hueys, we have more Loaches and more Hueys, and we have Chinooks and Hueys. If one of these gunships goes into low on ammo, I need to be able to use that headquarters in order to repair that Snake. So we're going to load this up, and I'm going to have to remember where it is because that's important. And we're going to bring all these supply trucks. So again, I'm trying to organize all my units to be less than 12 strength points, so that way they utilize the movement costs of the road as opposed to just the main hex. I'm just going to start spreading my things out here. So just moving all my units down the road to create a convoy and a column. Now I want to keep that as condensed as possible because that'll be a lot of moving. So let's just add some strength points in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. That's fine. That's good enough. And we can move these here. So the dozers we're going to haul, the helicopters we're going to haul, the trucks. Alright, now here's a second question. And I'm going to leave this up to you, and that'll help, or not help, but determine what happens. I'm going to move 2 companies, one on the northern part of Area Alaska, the other on the southern part of Area Alaska. And I'm gonna, majority rules, should I take this company and put it in trucks to escort the convoy, or should I fly it? That's up to you. You guys decide. Do we fly or do we drive with this third company? Keep in mind, just as a reminder, we have a very long road to go up to Anlock. From here all the way down along this road, and we don't know if it's occupied or not, or if there's going to be an ambush or anything. So, something to think about. Drive in case of an ambush. I like what you're thinking. Good choice. Good choice. Okay, so that means we need some trucks. And of course I just moved all my trucks. Do I have any trucks here? I do have some trucks. Actually, you know, I can unload that, and we'll swap that machine gun for a lighter vehicle. The mortars will load. These, we can load that infantry. We have a 6 strength point Jeep here, so let's load that up. And I just need one more truck. We're going to use a supply truck. And then we'll load them into the trucks. So notice I have ARVN units here. There's an artillery battery with a machine gun, but unfortunately they're fixed, so I can't use them. Fear of the unknown. Exactly, John. That's just it. We don't know what's going to happen. So I'd rather have that infantry company just in case we do run into an ambush. We don't know if we're going to, but just in case. Here we can use those to load up the headquarters next turn. And let's take a truck, go up here. Can we load that? Oh yeah. Okay, so we have enough troops here to start hauling everything, so that's good. You know what we're going to do now? First, we're going to get these gunships up. We don't need them here right now, so I'm going to move to the low flight zone, and then I'm going to move up to the high flight zone, zoom out, and we're going to head them north towards Anlock. We're going to get them established there, ready to go. I'm just going to leave this truck here. So next turn we'll complete the rest of the convoy, get things moving. That should be okay. Now let's go over to the brigade headquarters, which is over here. I'm not going to do much here, but one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start digging in. I know for a fact that I am eventually going to have to move these units north, but I also know as the days progress, I'm going to be using this as another base, so I'm going to be proactive and start building entrenchments in this location. And you'll see I have dozers here, and I have construction platoons. I need to transport a construction platoon and a dozer all the way up north in order for me to build that firebase. And we'll take a look where we're going to have to build that firebase when we get up there. So that means I'm going to have to bring those Chinooks down and eventually pick up these units to help do that. I have both sets of different types of gunships in this particular scenario, John. I have both snakes and I have hogs. The ones that I just moved are snakes, but I have some hogs up here, and I'll show you those once we get up there. I do have, look at that, I have an M42 Duster here. And what I'm going to do with that Duster is I'm going to put it on the road. And I'm going to look for a couple of other units. That unit, it's a Jeep with a machine gun. And I think I have another one. Do I have another one? Or do I have anything? Construction platoon. 3/4 ton Jeeps with machine gun. Okay. So, I am going to take these particular units here, and I'm going to use them. So, over here is our convoy, and this is the road that it's going to have to come down. It's going to have to come down through this. This is all Arvin territory, which is good so far. But you can see I'm not far away from VC territory. So I need to come down this road, and then eventually come to this intersection where then I am coming through here, and look at that, I'm like in the middle of VC territory. Just the road is my area. If you look carefully, that's not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a small little task force that's going to include a couple of Jeeps with MGs and the Dusters. We're going to go up this road, and we're going to come up to this intersection up here, and we're going to come down here to make sure that this is clear. And if it isn't, then at least we have some additional support here. So that's a good thing, right? We want to do this. We need to do this. So I'm going to take my units, go down the road as far as we can. While everyone else back here, we're just going to dig in. It's an important thing that we do, and we should, as a general rule, the first thing you should do is start digging in. If your units aren't going anywhere, they should be digging in. I have dozers, I have guns that are all capable of being dug in. Here I have supply caches. These construction platoons, I have so many construction platoons, that's fantastic. And okay, so this brigade headquarters with the artillery headquarters, they're digging in, they're getting ready to do their thing. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do here. I do have a cavalry unit that belongs to the Arvin, but they're fixed for now. And let's just do a cruise up the road. We have some more Arvin units that they are just protecting the highway, but they're fixed. There's some more here. Small units, but effective if they get attacked. Here we have the headquarters of that cavalry unit plus some supplies. We're just going to keep going north. We have some more of those cavalry units. Again, they're protecting our main supply route on QL13. We have a CIGG unit here. We have some Arvin regular force units here. And this is Konthan. Let me turn on the labels for you. This is Konthan here. There is a base here, and we will be using that as the days goes on, but not yet. So here we have, after this particular small encampment, we have QL13, which is going all the way north to Anlock. And you can see how far that we're going, how long that's going to take. Here's Anlock, and this is our primary task for our 1st 16th Battalion to come to, and that is the area here that it needs to clear. It needs to clear everything within these red dots, as you can see. This task force, if you remember from the command briefing, where is it? The 3rd Brigade Task Force should be at Loch Ninh. Move the 3rd Brigade Task Force headquarters and other 2nd 28th Battalion units to Anlock, or at Anlock to Loch Ninh. So anything that's here, basically, we need to send north. And that's what we're going to do. So let's see how far I can move. Not very far. Not very far at all. So next turn they're going to, because it's a base, things are much slower. I just have to remember that that's where those units are. And we're going to load these guys up. we are going to send them that way as well. So we do have a couple of ARVN supply trucks that are not fixed. So this is from experience. I've played this before. So let's highlight everything that's fixed. And you can see that pretty much every other ARVN unit in the area, except for my own units, are fixed. But these two are not. And what does that mean? That means we can use these two supply units at the landing zone here at the Hon Quan airfield. And that'll help me, or give me a location until my other supply trucks come up here to supply my helicopters when they get here. So I'm sending my gunships that I just moved to this location here. And this will provide me a brand new location for resupplying helicopters, which is good. So here, on the other hand, we have some units that need to move. This is the engineering task force with the D company of D 2nd 28th. Here we have a bunch of vehicles. We have the engineering platoon, and we have a bridge engineering platoon, and otherwise this is just the rest of the heavy weapons from D company. There's no infantry here, it's just the heavy weapons, and they're the ones that are escorting our engineers. So what are we going to do? We're going to load up everyone, and we're going to start driving down this road, utilizing our reconnaissance jeeps, and we're going to advance and start securing QL-13 between An Loc and Loc Ninh. So I want to be very careful that I don't accidentally misclick and head off into one of these zero valued objectives, because if I do, I'm going to get penalized for that. So I don't care about those. I'm just caring about the road. So I'm just advancing. So here, there's going to be something here. I can't move further. There's something there. So let's bring up our engineers. Where are they? And move them down this road as far as we can. Again, I'm doing it a couple hexes at a time because I don't want to get screwed. And then I'll bring the rest of the stuff up. Actually, let's find our other engineers and bring them up as well. We have some armed trucks. You can tell that they're armed because it says A at the end of them. What does that mean? So represents a 2.5 ton armed unit. So this typically has a machine gun attached to it, and you can tell that it has probably even maybe a couple of machine guns because the attack values are pretty decent. At 1 hex it fires at 12, which will cause some severe damage to any VC unit that happens to be that close. Now I'm just moving the rest of my units along the road to keep the convoy going. They will get bogged down as I move north because I know that there's going to be mines and whatnot that are going to cause me to go much slower than I would like to. One thing, and why I'm bringing the bridge engineer up here, is because you can see here, this bridge here is blown, which means I need to build a new one, and I can build it here at this location where this road goes through, but there's no bridge. So I'm going to build a brand new bridge there so we can continue utilizing this thoroughfare, or the main supply route. And this goes all the way up, all the way up, all the way up to Loc Ninh. And since we're at Loc Ninh, let's take a look at our situation. So our situation is we have a battalion here, but we have 2 areas that we have to clear. We have area Alabama and we have area Louisiana. What do we have here to do that? We have the battalion. Where is it? 2nd 28th Battalion. Here's the leader. Let's just highlight it so you can see where all the units are. So these are all the units of that battalion. So again, a combat company consists of the infantry platoons as well as the mortar. And there's 3 of them. In addition to that, we have another unit here, which is the D company D of the 1st 4th Air Cavalry. So this is the helicopter squadron of an armored cavalry squadron, or sorry, air cavalry troop of an armored cavalry squadron. The rest of the first or the fourth is on the ground. They have tanks and armored vehicles, but this is the helicopter version. So with that, I have some hogs, I have some loaches, and I have an arrow rifle platoon, which is a really, really good rifle platoon. You can see that it's assaulting with a 10 and a defense of 11, whereas the regular ones are assaulting with a 9 and defending at an 11. That extra point makes a world of difference. We also have some LRRP units. Now, these LRRP units are crazy cool. Here, what are they for? Well, first off, they're like a special forces thing. So they can move the fastest on the ground, especially in the woods or in the jungle, than any other unit that we have. But more importantly, over here, this is Cambodia. Let's just find a label for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So here, this is the international border between Vietnam and Cambodia. And the LRP units, you'll see here there is a landing zone, for example. There's a couple landing zones up here. The LRRP units are the only ones that are allowed to land in Cambodia. You can fly units over Cambodia, but you can't land with anything else but the LRRP units. And in this particular scenario, the LRRP units have the special ability of, not ability, well, they have recon abilities, they have a whole bunch of other things, but the main purpose in this particular scenario is that they are supposed to be operating in Cambodia in order to track down VC supplies, NVA supplies, cause havoc in the rear, try and find anti-aircraft positions. John is saying, based on my last scenario, Mekong, don't lose my gunships in this one. No, yeah, and that's the thing. I am going to play this scenario a lot more cautiously and slower than I did the last one, maybe a little more methodical. So even though the last campaign took 37 videos, so 74 hours basically, this one will probably take longer because there's much more to think about, there's much more to do. And yeah, I'm going to be watching my gunships very closely, especially the hogs. The hogs are the most powerful unit that I have on the board, quite frankly. So I need to make sure that I keep them throughout the entire campaign. Anyways, back to the LRRPs. You need to be using them in Cambodia. And the longer that they're in Cambodia, the more points that you get. And additionally, if you're destroying things while you're in there, that's good. Now, also keep in mind that me being a mean designer, I have scripted the NVA, which are operating in Cambodia, to hunt you down. So you have to be cautious with your LRP unit. Now, the LRP unit also has stealth capabilities, so you can typically move without being spotted. But if you do get spotted, you're going to be having a bad day. Things to keep in mind, especially if there's an NVA rifle company coming out to hunt you down, right? So, but because I am needing to secure 2 areas, I think I'm going to neglect sending my LRRP units straight away into Cambodia, and I'm going to use their very fast movement, for at least part of the day, to help me secure this, because I don't have a lot of infantry. I basically have 9 units to go in here and capture all the objectives within these 2 areas with this 1 battalion. It's not enough. It's just not enough. So I need to use my resources as best as I can. And I think that means the LRP units are going to be going for a walk in the woods. Let's take a look. So there are a number of landing zones in area Louisiana, which we can see. Each of the landing zones are labeled, and they're usually labeled sequentially from how close they are to QL 13, the main supply route. So as you can see, LZ Louisiana 1 is pretty close, is the closest one to QL 13, which is, there's a label here, QL 13. The main highway is here. Then this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one. Landing zone Louisiana 5 is where we're supposed to be building our fire base. And what constitutes a fire base in this particular scenario is that you have to build 2 trenches in this particular area. I believe it's up to 1 or 2 hexes. So if you build 2 trenches within 2 hexes of that, then that constitutes a fire base, as well as bringing in your artillery battery. But you need to bring your artillery battery there anyways, because you have to logger it there for the night. So let's take a look in detail at our unit here. We have the battalion. We have 3 companies. We have heavy weapons. The heavy weapons is escorting the engineers, so we don't even have heavy weapons here. We have the LRP units. We have this particular air cavalry troop, and we have an artillery battery with a machine gun. So we can't move the battery. We could move the battery by truck, but it'll be much faster to do it by air. So we're going to do that. We're going to move that battery eventually onto the airfield and have one of the Chinooks come and take it over to that landing zone. So what are we going to do? We're going to load up our very powerful A-class unit here. We're going to load it up. We're going to get it in the sky. And we're going to move. And then we're going to put it up into the high flight zone. And we're going to move as far as we can to this landing zone here. And we're going to see if we can secure it. But it'll take a couple of turns. Let me turn off the labels to speed things up a little bit. So that's as far as I can go. So we're going to send a couple of gunships with it, or a gunship with it, and a loach to escort it. And I think so we have 1 spare loach. We're going to send that up. And we're going to send that in advance. So if we look carefully here, we have a loach and a hog. We have a loach and a hog. And where we just moved, we have a loach and a hog. And I'm operating them as teams. But this one is separate. It doesn't have anything. So I'm going to go as close to that landing zone as I can, and we're going to use that to reconnaissance that landing zone to see if it's clear or not. Is it going to be a hot landing zone, or is it going to be a cold landing zone? We don't know. But that's what this helicopter is going to be doing. We're going to come in here, and we're going to fly around, and we're going to see if that's hot or not. Is it hot or not? Huh, that's terrible. What was for lunch today, Compass Rose? And how come you didn't bring enough for everyone? Jeez. Okay, so we need to start advancing our infantry. And I'm going to load up my mortars because they're going to go for a cruise. So let's think about this. We need to send... We're going to send 1 infantry company over here we're going to send one infantry company down into here, and then the other one we'll send up here. We want to... Do we have any small helicopters to transport? No, we don't. So I'm going to take my LRP. Ooh, what should I do with that? Decisions. Decisions. So we want to send a company over here. So let's do that. Let's double time these guys. Let's double time these guys. Let's load up these mortars. These special forces unit. Let's double time them, and we're going to secure these points down here with that special forces unit. So the special forces unit is going to operate over here. These are going to operate through here and just start going to collect these points. The other special forces unit we're going to leave on the airfield, and it'll get transported next. And so that infantry company is coming over here. This infantry company, let's send it this way too. Let's send it this way. Let's load them up. Smoked ham, scalloped potatoes. Hey Stipe, good to see you. Freshly made cornbread and a corn casserole. Sorry Jason, I had no way of knowing that there would be so many mouths to feed over here. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's awesome. Heck yeah. I hope you're doing well today, Stipe. Okay, so that's pretty much all we can do for this. Let's just take a look down here, make sure that we moved everything that we can, which we did. Here, oh, that's the other thing. Speaking of, now there's bunkers here, there's bunkers here, there's trenches there. I'm going to go around through all my ARVN units, and I'm going to have them dig in if they're not dug in already. Which they're not, so let's just do that. This might be a little tedious, sorry. There's a bunker. They're in improved positions, they're in improved positions. They're in trenches. They're in improved positions, they're all good. They're all good, okay, that's good. What about these guys? Improved position, improved positions. Trenches. Bunker. Bunker. IP. Bunker. IP. IP. Trenches. Trenches. Okay, that's good. Let's go up to unlock. IP. Nothing. Aha. Regional forces, they're going to be digging in. They're in an IP. Nothing. So what do we have here? We have a machine gun that can dig in. Just a machine gun. We have a bunker. Improved position. We have a CIDG platoon. Let's dig in. Let's dig in with these guys since they're fixed. Regional National Police. They're going to be terrified, so let's dig in with them as well. Tori K. Hey, Tori K. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we're almost done the first turn here, so that's kind of good. I'm just going around making sure that everyone's dug in properly, because that is one thing you need to do in this scenario. Make sure that everyone is dug in. Bunker, bunker, Everyone's dug in here. They're all in improved positions. Oh, we have a construction engineer, but it's fixed. Okay. There we go. And then let's go up to Loch Ninh. And again, with the National Police, we will dig them in. The National Police will be digging in. And these regional forces will also be digging in. Machine gun dig in as well. Here we go. Do we have anything up here? They're dug in. Some regional forces. So, a quick look around, you can see the areas that I control are quite minimal compared to what the VC controls. They control basically everything with the exception of the 3 or 4 main towns and this main highway. Otherwise, they own everything else. I have to go in and clear it all. That'll ultimately be the goal, is to clear this entire thing. So, that's that. Let's end the turn. See what happens. Oh, I'm using the Blue Water mod, and I'm using the Terrain mod. That was built by Umbra. Next session, I'll play with the mod off, just so you can see the difference. I will keep the Blue Water mod on, because it's just easier to see the water. So I don't know if you can hear, but there is a lot of movement going on in the background. You'll notice that I started off with 0 smoke and 0 flares. One of the improvements that I made was, hopefully it shows next turn, that I've added randomized dispersal of the smoke and the flares at the beginning of every day. And the other thing is that, to take away from that, if you lose a supply truck, you'll have a randomized number of smoke and flares be removed from your pool. Good day, Beryl. Good to see you. I did say National Police. Yes, I do have some National Police in this scenario, and the VC are definitely on the move. So here's a visual reminder of what we're doing. So even though I read all of that before, here's the quick, what are we doing today? This is what we're doing today. 2nd 28th is clearing Alabama and Louisiana and building a fire base here at Louisiana 5, at Landing Zone Louisiana 5. And we have the 1st 16th Infantry's mission for the day. 1st 16th, it's going to combat assault from Phuoc Vinh into An Loc and start clearing Area Alaska. National Police would have shovels to be able to dig in, and they do. Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're digging in, they're preparing. Life in general is going to be good for everyone. In order to provide fluid movement for supplies and access to various areas, road clearing and maintaining will be a daily task by engineer task forces. The task force assignments include so this is another thing that I did to improve, to help clarity and keep you in the loop about what you're supposed to be doing for this particular day. In this case, every day I provide you this type of messaging to say, hey, this is what you have to do with your engineerings for this day. So for us today, all we're doing is using D Company of the 2nd 28th Infantry to escort the road clearing engineers, and they are clearing QL13 from An Loc to Loch Ninh. A new day for restocking your ammo and flares. And we shall see how many we got, if I did it right. We have 4 headquarters unidentified supply, which makes sense because we're moving a whole bunch of stuff. And we have 7 improved positions. So I got 0 flares, which means I didn't code it right, but I got 22 smoke. Let's see. I wouldn't think that the police, except military police, would have shovels. You have to understand the situation in Vietnam. I think it's not the standard police that you're thinking, like you would find in Canada or the United States. They are more military-esque, even though they're the national police. So they do have half-decent weapons. They do have some additional goodies that you would normally find outside of normal police. and a shovel. Why not? Just like civilians, they can dig in too. Did you know that? Did you know that civilians can dig in? Which will be particularly useful on the Eastern Front. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so let's start to the north. We're going to operate everything from north to south. So here, we are going to take our load. We're going to drop down to low. We're going to fly in a little closer. And we're going to do a reconnaissance. Nothing popped up. Let's move a little closer. Do another reconnaissance. Okay, nothing popped up. Let's do a flyover. And let's come back here. So I didn't see anything there. So it might be, or it might not be, clear. We're going to move our gunship in. We're going to move our arrow rifle platoon in. Now, I don't have enough action points right now to drop down. I'm going to drop down to low. And I'm going to drop these guys down to low. And I'm going to bring these helicopters around. So I think this is the border here. So here's the border. Now, I can fly across this border, but I can't walk across, with the exception of the LRP units. So I have a hog. And let's take a look at the difference between the hogs and the snakes. These hogs are awesome. So they do have a minimum firing range, though, so you need to be 2 hexes away. That's their standoff range. But at 2 hexes, they fire at 63, which is crazy. When they're nap of the earth. Obviously, the higher they fly, the less effective that these values are. But if you're flying nap of the earth, flying from 2 hexes away, and firing from 2 hexes away, that's your most powerful unit right there. It's crazy powerful. And that's why I want to baby them, basically, because I'm going to helicopter parent my helicopters. Terrible. Civilians can dig in at 3 times the average rate when they have guns pointed at them. Touché, Compass Rose. Touché. Oh yes, I see a week around Smolensk and a week around Smolensk for sure, and Yelna. Actually, I could do a week around Smolensk. I could do a week around Yelna. Oh, there are so many possibilities. So many possibilities. I'm super stoked. I don't know if any of you guys played my what was it? Hell by another name, and it was dealing with the Battle of Yelna, but it covered from basically the advance up to Yelna, holding Yelna, as well as defending against the Russian attacks. Man, that was a huge, huge scenario. And now I can make that scenario a reality to how I initially wanted it to be. So I'm super stoked about that. I'll turn that into a week in, or maybe 2 weeks in. Anyways, what are we doing? So here we have our gunships. They're flying low right now. Everyone's flying low. We're going to leave that. Oh, he doesn't even have enough points there. Okay, so let's pull him back. I thought he might have had enough points, but he doesn't, to do an op fire in case there is something there, but we don't. So I'm going to just leave everyone right there, I think. We'll secure that. We'll start building. And we'll send that arrow rifle platoon out. Let's go over to Loch Ninh. Here we are. So I'm going to leave these gunships on the ground. I don't have a need for them right now. In the meantime, let's just double time everyone. This is rougher terrain, so I'm not going to be able to move as far, typically. And we have some mortars. So my mortars, I'm going to be using, even though I shouldn't be doing this. This is not good gameplay, just saying. I'm going to be using the mortars to go around on the roads to secure some of the points to help expedite this whole thing. And while the infantry is going to go in and try and get these points. So let's take a couple of... Oh, frickin'. So yeah, the trucks are going to go capture the road points. The infantry are going to go capture the other points. And we need to cross. We need a crossing. There's a crossing right here. Let's highlight our organization. Where are these other platoons? Aha, here. So I'm going to send these guys down. This is not very wise, but they're combat units. So I'm going to leave them there. And what I'm doing is I'm going down from the north to eventually meet up with our units coming from the south here. So, what did we find? We know that there's something here. I'm going to unload my engineers and take a walk. Can I? Oh, I can't even walk in there. Shoot. Okay, so it's just a roadblock. Oh, yeah. This is the Umbra terrain mod that I'm using. So next session, I'll play without the terrain mod, just so you can see the difference. It's actually included in your installation. If you have the 1.22, it is this mod here. Oops. I can't. Sorry, what am I doing? Games. This is, is it this one? Yeah, it's the tabletop gaming mod. That's the one that you want to use. So again, you just go into, turn on your, before you go into the game, you'd want to turn on your, you'd want to turn this on. Now I just screwed up my, I just screwed it up. Anyways, so here you can see that mod is activated. So all you do is you just select it from here, put it over here, and now it's activated. Okay, I need to save and I need to reload because it screwed up my screen. Sorry about that, 1 second. Just waiting for it to do its thing. Resume a saved game, and we want the live version, which is that one. Yeah, exactly, Compass Rose. You can, yeah, the mods are great because you can mix and match mods to get your favorite look. Absolutely. And not only that, it's so easy to mod this game. You can modify basically anything. It's fantastic. All right. So where are we? Here. Just gonna move up the rest of our convoy. I'm going to put our bridging engineers closer to the front because we need to use them up here. Everyone else can get in line. Ah, you see, I made a mistake. That shouldn't have happened. Damn pathing. But at least I didn't get nailed for it that time. I think I probably did that just because of that happening. So I gave you a little bit of flexibility. I don't know if I would have done the same here, but just things to think about. Okay, so that's QL13. This is QL13 here. This paved road. Right now it's still VC occupied or owned, but we plan on changing that throughout this day. Actually, let's get a little closer to see if we can see anything else. Good initiative. Yay. Oh man, we went quite a ways. So this whole road here doesn't have any blocks or mines or anything like that, so that means that will reduce the amount of effort that these engineering teams have to do down here, which is great. Okay, that's done. Let's go up here. We need to move our other stuff onto the road. Oh man. Oh, there we go. And these guys are on the road now. I don't know. I don't know when the hell's going to break loose, but I know it's going to happen. Just a matter of when. We have some helicopters flying. So these are our snakes, and the difference between snakes and hogs is this. The snakes, their max firepower is 44, but they're 1 hex away. So you have to get up close and personal with the snakes, and this is why I lost all my gunships in the weak in Mekong scenario, is because I thought I had drawn all the opportunity fire from the VC that I was attacking so I could get in close using my loaches, but I didn't. And therefore, as soon as I got close, I would fire at nap of the earth so I can get the maximum attack, and then I would get shot at and shot down. So, unfortunately, shit happens. But it happened, what, 12 times? 16 times? Too many times. We're flying these all the way up as far as we can. Which is that far. So, yeah, that's three turns of flight to get from the south to the north. How crazy is that? We can load them up. Do we have enough action points to load that? No. Oh, we're not going to load the Chinooks. Oh, or are we? Are we gonna? No, we're not. We're gonna load the Chinooks with bulldozers. That's what we're going to do. Oh no, that's not the right company. Darn it. See? Oh yeah. See, that's totally not the right company. I put that in the wrong spot. You know what? We can actually use these armed trucks. So the task force headquarters is going to be transported by helicopter, and then everything else is coming by truck. No, I can't get in there. Darn it. Everything is overstacked. These mortars we can load. So I do have a spare helicopter. No. Yeah, I do. Okay. So these can go there next turn. That's one thing that's tough to get, is making sure that you're doing everything as efficiently as possible, so you're not wasting turns, which I have a really bad habit of doing. Let's see, 6, 12. Again, I'm trying to keep my strength points underneath 12, so that way they utilize the road bonus. That we're going to load. That we're going to put on the road. Yes, LRP action is going to be happening today. Or not today. Or day 1, anyways. These are all empty trucks. Can Chinooks load APC or heavy trucks, or is that beyond the weight limit? Now, that's a good question. I haven't tried. I think they can carry basically everything, but I don't know. Since they can load a dozer, I'm sure they can load a truck, but I haven't tried to see how that goes. Okay, so we do have... No, that's staying there because that needs to unload into that hex, but we need to load up stuff before we can start doing that. I'm going to keep everything on the ground here for now, and then move everyone together so we can do both of those landings at the same time. These supply trucks I don't need to keep here. I'm not coming back to this airfield, so there's no sense me keeping supply trucks at that airfield. I can use those supply trucks further north, as well as if there's any landing zones along the route and I need them to refuel helicopters as the helicopters are doing their thing. Over here, we're going to take a look at our task force with the duster to help clear the road. So I'm going to do this a few hexes at a time because I don't know what we're going to run into. Oh, let me turn off the show track IDs. You don't care about that. That's just me. So far this road is clear, which is good. That's not the road we're really concerned about though. The main road we're concerned about is this here at this intersection. So let's zoom in and let's just start going down the road. Okay, so we ran out of action points. We need to go down this road to see what's here in preparation for our other column to come. Just gonna spread these units out a bit. So I'm traveling through Arvin territory. It should be safe. Should be safe. Huh. We can move these trucks down. These trucks. Those we need to load. Okay, there we go. Did these guys dig in anything? Let's take a look. Oh, they dug in something. Perfect. Now, do I want to build a trench here? If you were building a base, where would you put your trenches? If you were building a base, where would you put your trenches? So they built an improved position. They built an improved position. They have not. They built an improved position. You know what? Let's build a couple of trenches here. That way it's done. Otherwise, these guys can move down here, and we'll build another improved position there. We have some machine guns and things. That's fine. Supplies we're leaving there. So, as with Mekong, if I leave the supply caches within a couple of hexes of my brigade headquarters, I get bonus supply points for that, just for doing that. So I'm going to leave my supply unit around where it's supposed to be. Alright, I think we moved everything. Let me just do a quick scan, make sure that I did. We have the Arvin supply units there. These guys have all moved. I'm just going to pan up north. they moved. The LRRP did not move. So I'm going to send this guy down this way to take these points. The other LRRP right now is waiting at the airfield. We have a sniper here that's part of the... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all these guys up to this location. I'm going to put my leader at the top of the stack, so that way I can quickly find it and see where the leader is. And that will allow me to quickly highlight my entire battalion, so I know where everyone is. The LRRP units, they're tasked to the brigade, so we don't have to worry about their supply. These gunships are on the ground. They're not going anywhere. We do have some civil affair units. Let's just dig in with them. These civil affair units, they're a new unit to the campaign series. They will be tasked later on in the scenario, so I would not worry about what they're doing right now. Okay, that's it. Let's end the turn. Now again, we're going to have a lot of movement. These are our gunships. They're coming up here and they're going to position themselves in these ARVN supply units. This is another airfield, but there's nothing here. You can hear the RDVC just moving, going to town in the background. Oh, there we go. Visual reminder of the engineering mission. So yeah, this is the unit. Let's find it just so you can see what we're talking about. Yeah, Charlie's on the move for sure. So that's what this is here. This is the heavy weapons company of the 2nd 28th, which is at Loch Ninh. And the engineers, that's what they're escorting. That's what these units are here. And we are attempting to clear this entire QL-13. Plus we have a bridge to build here. So we plan on meeting that particular unit that we're bringing down here just to secure that whole entire road, and that'll give us a main supply route between Anlock and Loch Ninh. Here we go. There are 2 LRRP units available at the start of the scenario. These will load into helicopters and be inserted into a landing zone in Cambodia. The LRRP mission is to watch the trails on the Cambodia side of the border, and see where the supplies are flowing. While remaining out of sight, the LRRP will call in airstrikes to hamper Vietcong supply efforts when possible. Avoid combat with the LRRP teams. Use the LRRP stealth to circumvent the patrols that will inevitably attempt to hunt down your teams. Move them around the various landing zones as necessary. Note, only the LRRP units will be allowed to operate in Cambodia. You can fly LRPs in and out, but you cannot send in additional infantry into Cambodia to help with the LRRP tasks. So yeah, no matter what, you can fly in. Like I said, you can fly over Cambodia all you want. You just can't land in Cambodia with anything but the LRP units. Each battalion has its own assignment, usually clearing one area of operations each. As you play, you will find your resources are spread thin. There is a lot of management that you'll have to undertake, oops, that was a typo, to ensure all your missions are being completed. Depending on how you manage your resources, you may not complete each mission by the end of each victory day. If you do not finish the assigned mission, you will have to complete the mission the next day plus the new mission. You will not gain the points if you clear the area the following day, but you will prevent the enemy from gaining points. So, for example, if I don't clear all of area Louisiana on day 1, I still have to clear that area, plus I have to clear whatever area that I'm going to be doing next. The new addition that I included with the latest version of this is that you'll gain full points if you clear it during the day. If you clear it during the night, then you gain half points. And then after that, you don't get any points. So you do have a little bit of flexibility to gain some points. You're just not going to gain as many points as you would like typically. All right, there's that. So again, starting north to top, I have 2 reconnaissance units. I am just going to double check again. I'm going to fly lower this time. I'm going to fly directly over this, and I'm going to do a visual reconnaissance. I didn't see anything. Let's do the same over here. Visual reconnaissance. I didn't see anything. Okay, so I'm going to get back up and move out of the way. Now I'm going to take my Huey, my Slicks, with my A-class unit, and I'm going to drop down, unload, get my Slicks out of there because my Slicks are like gold in this scenario. We are back up, and we're going to get out of here. Let's just fly back as far as we can. That's fine. So we do have some Loaches, and we have our gunships. I'm going to leave my gunships on station right here in case something happens to pop up, and we'll fire back at it with opportunity fire. Let's go in here and in here. Oh, there we go. We just secured the fire base. That's good. So we can start bringing in reinforcements to start building that fire base, because that's where we're going to be loggering with our combat battalion. So I'll send this platoon down to here, take that, and then we'll start clearing along the border with that platoon. Yay for uneventful. That's good. Okay. Oh, ran into blow roadblocks. Keeping my engineers together, or my units together. This special forces, again, they move the fastest, they move the quickest, so I'm just going to these guys are moving as fast as they can on the asphalt. So my plan is to send this company to take out all these points, because here we have a big area to capture all the way up to here. So we need to secure all these points. So I'll send one platoon down here. The other platoon will come taking up these points along the bottom before I start securing up. This special forces will secure these while this company goes along this road to start securing this. This company will go along this road, I guess, and start securing these, as well as up north. That's the other. So the other LRP I'm going to send up to this landing zone to take all these points along this top part. Again, this is a massive area, and then once these 2 areas are secure with the LRPs, I will send them into Cambodia. All right, is that all we're doing? I think that's all we're doing for this sector. They're waiting. Do I have any vehicles? Oh, yeah. Let's do this instead. Let's load them. Send that truck up north. So, we need to go up here. We can follow this road. And we can unload them up here and have them walk across, take that point, and then go into here or go up here, wherever, it doesn't matter. We'll just get them moving. A unit sitting is not a useful unit. All right, down below we have this unit going to secure the road. Oh shit. We are operating in Charlie County. Expect to find random minefields. Eyes front. Yes, so we found a single minefield. We missed. Oh, crap. Did anything happen? Huh. Didn't say. That's okay. Okay, so they ran out of action points. And look at that, we found another block. There's probably another one there. So let's clear this. Move our trucks up. So next turn, we're going to load up, come up to here, unload, get ready to clear that block. I can't move further, so there must be something else there. Which means all these guys are just hanging around. They can't do anything else. But we can move up these units. And just like that, they've found the tail of the other convoy. Alright. Our helicopters. We have our gunships, our snakes. We're going to send them to our airfield here. And we're going to land. Let's drop down. Put one gunship here. And these ones can go here. There we go. Now they will refuel. Can fortifications, mine, and blocks be recon revealed? Not usually, no. Sometimes, yes. But generally speaking, no. Actually, let's test. Does that unit have enough action points to do a recon? It does. So let's see what happens. No. That could just be because of the terrain. Nick. Welcome, Nick. Good to see you. 2 questions. Will there be a stream version for Campaign Series Vietnam? And do you think CSV is good for beginners? Regarding the Steam version, that's not up to us. We're trying to make it as good as we can so that Matrix puts it on Steam, but that's not ultimately not our decision. We are hoping to be put on Steam, so maybe with the 1.3 update and our inclusion of the play-by-email plus system that Matrix uses and Slytherin uses, that might encourage them to put us on Steam. I'm not sure. I'm hoping eventually we would like to be put on Steam, because we do have a whole bunch of plans with the game, not only just this game, but our other games that we will be working on. And do I think CSVN is good for beginners? Is it good for beginners? Yes. In a way. So it's kind of like chess, in the sense that it's very easy to learn, because basically all you're doing is moving and shooting. But if you start with small scenarios and learn how to operate with, for example, here. Let me show you what I mean. Where are we doing? Let's go back up to here. So, a small scenario, you'll typically have a battalion-sized unit. And what is a battalion-sized unit? A battalion-sized unit is basically the units that are highlighted. There's some infantry, you might have some supporting weapons and whatnot. So, the main thing to think about for this game is that, yeah, it's simple in the sense that we're just moving and shooting, but it's the thought behind the movement and the shooting that makes it a little more complicated. So starting with a small scenario, like the boot camp scenarios, they're designed for new players. They give you really a step-by-step introduction into how the game works and what you should be thinking about. Keep in mind, I've been playing these type of games for 20 plus years. So my brain, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about that I'm just thinking about. It's like second nature stuff. Like What am I worried? This company here, for example, what am I? I'm going up to attack a hill. What's going to be up here? The things that are going on in my head. How many turns is it going to take to get up there? Do I have enough support up here? Do I need artillery support? Do I need to? Am I going to run into a sniper? What am I going to run into? And I don't know yet. But little things like that are things that I'm thinking about. Is, am I close enough to my company headquarters? Am I close enough to my battalion headquarters? Am I going to be, if I'm going to be engaged in combat, do I have something close by to help? But as a new player, the only thing you should think about is, okay, I have my units here. I know I need to move up here. It's going to cost me a certain amount of action points per turn. So you have to plan ahead in a way. You're doing a lot of planning in this game. This game is a lot of planning and just thinking ahead. And then the fun part happens when you run into the enemy part. And that's the challenge. That's the fun part. I really enjoy the combat part. But for me, also the logistics, the supply, the just how am I doing and how can I do it better? That's an exciting part for me as well. Is it good for beginners? I think it is, but if you should start small. I wouldn't play this scenario as a beginner. No, that'd be crazy. Yeah, exactly, John. It is second nature since 1998. Yeah, right, with the original East Front. But yeah, I would play the boot camps. I would learn how to play the boot camps, and then I would start with the French scenarios, because you don't have a lot of these additional weapon systems to worry about. You don't have to worry about helicopters. You don't have to worry about a lot of tanks and things like that. It's mostly an infantry fight, and that's good to practice your tactics with those French scenarios. As you get more experience, then you might want to try a scenario like Operation Starlight, where it's a huge map, but there's not a lot going on because you only have a couple of battalions. So that scenario there is teaching you how to use your forces, all of the forces, including helicopters and airstrikes and artillery, and how to use concentration of force, because cool, thanks. I started with Talonsoft Middle East conflicts, and after I took a break for about 15 years. Okay, so yeah, if you have experience with this, then yeah, for sure, this will be second nature for you then, in that sense. There are significant differences, though, with how the Middle East campaign, especially that particular game from the older one. We did update that, by the way, and we will have a new update that brings it to the Vietnam standards. There is a new game. It's called, where is it? Middle East, I think. Let me find it. If it loads, there we go. Campaign series, yeah, Middle East, 1948 to 1985, and of course they've decided to move the page. So let's go to the store. So what we did, so the original Talonsoft version was called Divided Ground, and we basically scrapped that and rebuilt it from the ground up. We rebuilt the order of battles, we rebuilt the maps, we rebuilt the scenarios. Everything's brand new in this game. And right now, the latest version is the 1.201. We released this in 2015, and the last update was in 2018. But we are going to update this particular game and call it version 3.0, which will update the engine and whatnot to the current standards. And that will, so the main things that are different that you're going to notice is that, one, if you're playing with Fog of War on, it's an enhanced Fog of War, and it is very difficult for you to see things. And you don't the intelligence is 0. You're learning as you're playing, in the sense that I don't know what just shot at me, and I don't know what kind of terrain they're in. I can't tell if they're in bunkers or trenches or anything like that. Sometimes you will, but most of the time you won't. You're playing literally blind. You're playing blind, and it's much more exhilarating in that sense, because you don't know what's happening. You don't know where the enemy... They can move right in front of you, and you might not see them. Whereas before, anything that moved in your line of sight, you would see or shot. Now, you have hidden fire. You can fire at empty hexes, like here, watch. So, I'm going to shoot something, and my ammo levels are going to be reduced. But just as a demonstration, if I suspected that there was a VC unit here, but I wasn't sure, I could fire at it. So right now, I have that police unit selected, my National Police firing at 4. I could now target this hex and shoot at it, and maybe draw fire, or maybe cause a disruption, or maybe cause a casualty, just by targeting that particular hex. Whereas before, in the old campaign series, you couldn't do that. You couldn't fire into an empty hex. That's a huge thing right there. Additionally, we've changed the air model, so air support is operating completely differently now. You'll see I have all these in my pool. I can now choose the airstrike that I want to bring. Killing pigs, yes. National Police, they're hungry. They're hungry. Now, because I did that, my ammo levels are going to start reducing 2 every turn, which is unfortunate, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah, so Red Sox Cutie is saying, I'm super beginner with 0 experience and did most of the boot camps. I'm working through French scenarios for practice assaulting and such. It's been helpful for me that way. Beryl is saying, excellent tidings for future gaming. John is off. Thanks for coming in, John. Really appreciate you tuning in. And nice, sounds great. I will start with Nam and switch over to Middle East later. Yeah, switch over to Middle East after we update it. It'll be far more interesting after it's updated. And Compass likes to fire first and then find out the hex is full of UN peacekeepers. That is true, Compass Rose. Yeah, that's true. Damn it. Alright, back to the game. What are we doing? So we've done all that. Let's go south. We moved the helicopters, yes. Here we're going to go down the road. We're going to bring up our dusters. We're not going to get too far down that road because I'm kind of nervous. Oh, look at that. That was an IED level 2, but we missed it. That's good. Okay, now for whatever reason, we avoided that hex. Let's see what's inside. Nothing. Oh man! We are operating in Charlie Company. Expect to find a lot of booby traps. Eyes front. So we triggered. So even though we spotted that IED, the second time we went in there, we triggered it. Oh. Unfortunately, we just got disrupted. So we got lucky. We got lucky. Man, that scared the crap out of me. I was not expecting that. So, okay. They did something right. They cleared the road, even though that could have been a lot worse. Whew. Man. Okay, these guys. So, again, this is ARVN-controlled area because we have ARVN troops around. So, I'm going to suspect it's fairly clean. So, I'm going to just do this quickly. And I'm doing this in steps because I want to make sure that my units don't go off the road. Not that I don't trust the pathing that the AI does. It's just that I don't trust the pathing that the AI does. At all. man, see? Put me on the wrong side. Oh, there we go. Now we have broken up our convoy. Oh, yeah, we forgot. We can load them up. Get them on the road. These guys are tailing by really far behind. Okay, we can load up that. We can't load up that yet, but we can. Oh, we can't bring in those guys. Oh. Can we load? No. But we can load this. We can load that. Thanks for coming, Bess. Good to see you. Hope you have an awesome day. Okay, so we have loaded, almost loaded. These guys can't load yet, I don't think. No, not yet. Can these... let's see. You know what? I'm gonna have to move these anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this in 2 flights. Let's take off. Do I want to take off? I don't know if I want to take off yet. No, let's do it next turn. I'm going to take off next turn. Okay. And then here we are. Oh, look at that. They built trenches already. Wow. That is amazing. Let's bring these guys over here. And they built trenches already too. Did they say that? What? You see, my command report didn't say that they built trenches. We're going to build some improved positions there as well. These guys built some improved positions, so we'll just continue doing that. They will do that next turn. These guys have done that. Okay, perfect. Let's end the turn. Keep an eye over on this sector here because that's where we're in the VC area pretty deep, so we want to make sure that this is kind of safe. Okay. Your infantry battalions have a primary headquarters and a task force headquarters. This is something different that isn't in Mekong, so just as an FYI. It is recommended to leave their primary headquarters in the city described in the instructions and use the task force headquarters to accompany the rest of the battalion in the field at the fire base and at the fire base being built. So let's go up to Lock In, and here is the battalion. But you'll see here there's a task force headquarters, and that is part of that battalion. So this is the headquarters that I want to send into the field. So I'm going to get that down here and eventually move it onto the tarmac so we can take off with it and eventually head over to the airfield. Let's take some points. Oh, that's good. So we're collecting points. That's a bonus. Our infantry are going slower than heck, though. Let's see if we can get this guy up over the hill. Nice. So we're going to split this company up. We'll send one down here. We'll send these two into here. Then we'll send that platoon over this way. And once the platoons get up here, we'll send one across to start capturing these points, and then one into here. Where's our truck with our LRP unit? How far can he move? Let's go there then. These units. And this platoon. Special Forces unit. And this infantry. We'll double time these guys to go over here. This one will go south. That's that. To the south, let's take a cruise down this road. Oh man. Wait a second. Now, for some reason, my reports are not showing up. Ah, that's why. Because they were set to low. That explains why everything's... Let's just slow them down a little bit just so you guys can read them. Details. Put high details. There we go. Okay. Not sure what was going on. So we cleared that. Let's continue on. Oh, we're going to load up. Drive down the road. We'll unload there. I don't know if I can now. Oh, I can. Okay. So, based on John's request before, I'm going to see if I can recon and see what's there. I don't think I can, but I'm going to try anyways. So, combat, recon. One more. One more time. No. So, we're going to assume that you can't recon blocks or anything like that that's on the road. You physically have to go into that hex and see. I heard Charlie carrying some rockets to greet you with. Yes. Just wait until you come to the end of the days here. It's going to be an exhilarating fight. Especially if I do the minimal amount of effort in this particular scenario. If I do that, it will be the fight of all fights that you've ever seen. It'll be insane completely. But that'll be decisions that we make later on. Let's move this guy down to here. Secure that point. These loaches, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to land all these units here for now. And my goal is to bring that task force headquarters over here as quickly as possible. So I'm going to bring that helicopter to the landing zone, get refueled, and then next turn, hopefully, or the turn after the next one, bring over that task force headquarters over to the... And I can land here. Oh, look at that. I'm on the ground, so I'll be refueling. And I'll bring this task force headquarters over there. We can load it up and send it to the new fire base that we're going to be building. I don't have anything there protecting it right now, but I'm not worried about that. I do have gunships close by on station with some turns left. And once I bring that task force headquarters, that means they can refuel there and then operate out of that area for now, until I get some reinforcements. That's all moved. Let's see what they're doing down here. Let's build some trenches with these dozers. We can join these guys digging in. These guys can dig in. And these guys, let's go up here and dig in the airfield before the Chinooks come to get them. Our jeeps. Let's take a cruise down the road, see what's here. Oh, there's something there. Our dusters, providing some support if we need it. And our convoy, which is just there, not far away. Do I need to go all the way down there? No, let's go over here. So we'll cut through this orchard here to get to the road, and then meander down the road. Right, we need to make sure that we're doing this right. Again, pathing is not very pleasant. Birdo should be back next session. I think he's on his way home from his holidays. And one lone truck out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, now the helicopters. We're gonna load, no, not those, load that. Okay, now I have to take off. So I can unload these helicopters or guns and then get them ready to load up. Okay. And just like that, we have all of our good stuff loaded, ready to go. So let's take off. The only thing we can't take off are is this battery. And we no longer need the trucks here, so we can move them away. We'll load that up, and all these helicopters are going to fly north. There we go. Now, actually, before I do anything else, let's make sure that we have the right companies together. Check the passengers. We have B. We have A. So we want to move B out of the way. Let's move B over here. B. So what I'm doing is I'm looking here. I'm going to Alt F2 or unit passenger to see what it is and checking out which company it's with, and that's B company. So I'm just separating my, because each company is going to a different landing zone, right? So these should all be A. So here you can go unit book passenger. The passenger of that helicopter is A, which is perfect. Put that there. And then this one, it should also be A, which it is. There we go. And then that's the task force headquarters. So there we go. Each company is going to a different landing zone, and then the dozers, I will probably actually send them all the way up north because I don't need to build a base at Anlock at this time. So I'll send them all the way to Lochanin towards the fire base that we need to. And you know what? Just like that, we have our first combat assault ready to go. It'll be, as we saw before, it'll take 2 turns to fly all the way up to Anlock. And what we're going to do is we're going to land 1 company here and 1 company here so that they can disperse and start occupying this area, Alaska, which is defined by these points or these notations on the map for sure. The rest of the battalion will be traveling by road and coming up to Logger here for the night, as well as start building up the defenses around Anlock. That's the plan for next time, because we've run out of time this time. We hit 2 hours already, just like that. We've got 4 turns in. Yay! Good job, good job. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the questions too. And thank you for all the new viewers. That's fantastic. Good to see you. I do this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you happen to miss them, I do post them on YouTube at our Campaign Series Legion channel. Oh, you're most welcome, Tori. Always happy to help. I will continue doing so. And this particular scenario, just as an FYI, it starts off pretty slow. Like, as you can see, it's just a lot of movement and getting organized and things like that. But as the days progress with this scenario, it will be getting exponentially more complicated. There will be a lot more units, there will be a lot more combat. But in the beginning, I'm just giving you the opportunity to learn your units, learn what the expectations of the days are, and learning how to do supply. And the first couple of days is just you learning things, basically. That's the whole point of it. Okay. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on YouTube, please ask them below. I answer everything regardless of what the comment is. I'm always happy to do so. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, and yeah, just thank you for your time. I know these are 2-hour sessions. I know they're long, but I hope they're valuable. Keep that smile on. Take care. Smile always, and we'll talk to you soon.